Hello everyone, my name is Clarice and today I am going to be talking about the FFF, your fight, flight and freeze response and how it works. Now the reason I am making this video today is due to the recent incident that took place in the US between Tyre Nichols and the police, which unfortunately led to the death of Tyre Nichols. Now, since that incident, I have been reading messages and comments online from people asking that why was he running away from the police? Now, I want you to know that if you understood how your mind and body works, you will know that there are things that are happening to you sometimes that are beyond your control. Now, let's not waste so much time. Let's dive straight into it. I'll try to make it as short and simple as possible. Now, when your mind perceives a threat, it can either do that through your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your hand. This information is being converted and transported to a part of your brain called the thalamus. The thalamus is actually responsible for collecting information and sending it for processing. Your thalamus will now send this information to your amygdala, which is your emotion and fear center. It is responsible to process your emotions and fear. Your amygdala will now process this information and send it over to your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus is that part of your brain that is responsible in keeping your body in a stable state called the homeostasis. And it actually does that by managing your hormones. So now your hypothalamus is going to release a signal to your pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland is located below your hypothalamus and is actually responsible for releasing important hormones into your body. Now your PT is going to send a message to your adrenal gland saying, danger, release all the hormones, the stress hormones, and immediately your adrenaline, cortisol, noradrenaline is going to release in your body, and immediately you feel your heart, you start feeling your heart pounding, your temperature going up, your pupils dilate, your muscles tense, your blood and sugar levels increase in order to fuel your body with the energy that it needs to fight or flee. Now, while all this is happening in your body, your prefrontal cortex, which is actually your executive brain, it is actually responsible for your logical and rational thinking, has gone into autopilot mode. It doesn't give you the chance to think or the opportunity to reason at that period. It's actually doing all the work for you. And it's actually doing what it thinks it's best for you at that moment to keep you alive, because that is your mind's main goal. The main aim is to keep you alive. So with what happened with Tyre Nichols and the police, you see, there were 5 policemen. There was nothing he would have done. He wouldn't have fought them. I mean, his mind at that moment was like, hey bro, there are 5 of them. You cannot fight these people. You cannot fight them. They will kill you. So the only reasonable solution at that moment is for you to run. Run for your life. I need you to be alive. Run for your life so they will not kill you. So it's an impulse that you don't have. He wasn't thinking at that moment. He wasn't thinking. So the only reasonable solution was for him to run at that moment. He couldn't fight 5 people, otherwise they would kill him. And that is what the mind is avoiding you for you being killed. So this is happening not only with the case of Tyre Nichols, it's happening in every instance, in every situation that you're faced when you're faced with a threat. For another example is you might be in a farm working or in a forest, and all of a sudden there is a snake in front of you, or there is a lion coming. You will get that impulse to run. Either run or you fight. So that is what is happening in your body at that moment. It's not your fault. You don't have any, you cannot think rationally, nothing. Another Another example is you are in your car driving and you're fine, you're happy, and all of a sudden there is alarm or police sound behind your car. The police is horning at you, and from at that moment, immediately you notice that the police is horning at you. At that moment, you just go from your vagal ventral to your sympathetic state within seconds. That means you go from a normal state to the state of arousal within seconds. You get that impulse in your body. You get all those symptoms in your body. Your heart starts pounding. You start sweating. You start feeling sweat. You are shivering. Your muscles are. You get that impulse at that point. It's something that you cannot avoid. And it's not you. It's not your doing. It's your mind. It's your body's doing it for you. Now, at that point, since the police is behind you, they are not in front of you. The threat is not directly in front of you. If you know how to self-regulate yourself, you can actually self-regulate yourself and reduce those symptoms. At that moment, you have ample time to self-regulate yourself because they are behind you. You know, it will take some time for them to stop the car and get out of the car and come to you. So at that moment, if you know how to self-regulate yourself, you can do that and reduce the symptoms before and be able to face the situation. So I am saying all of this just to say that when something happens, don't be quick to judge people. Don't be quick to judge yourself. Don't be quick to say, oh, why didn't they run? Why were they running? Or what? Don't be quick to do that. Don't blame yourself and don't blame other people. It can also happen. Another example is you can be in front of a crowd, or maybe you want to give a presentation or something, and you are standing in front of a crowd, and all of a sudden maybe you had traumatic experience in the past where you made a speech and you made a mistake and people laugh at you and all of that, and immediately you stand in front of the crowd now to give your presentation. Your mind reminds you remember that moment where you made that mistake and everyone were laughing at you. Remember, and at that moment you just freeze. You just freeze at that point, at that moment. You don't, everything in your mind just goes blank. You freeze at that point. So many things happen to you that you don't even, your mind, you cannot really actually comprehend what is happening to you. But if you don't understand how your mind and your body works, you will not understand. You will think that, oh, I have a problem, oh, I am sick, or what is wrong with me, or you will be judging, blaming yourself, feeling guilty over things that are beyond your control. So I am going to end here for today, and if you have any questions or any comments, just leave them down on the comment section, and I am going to try and reply to you as soon as I can and answer to any of the questions that you might have. So thank you so much for listening, and Happy New Year.